This exhibit pays tribute to African American women whose accomplishments so often go unsung. It tells the stories of well-known historic icons like Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Rosa Parks, with those of their New Jersey contemporaries, abolitionist Amy Hester Reckless, a runaway slave from Salem, and Joanna Lee, an itinerant preacher born free in Cape May. Mrs. Rita Mack, successful Atlantic City restaurateur, and Madam Sara Spencer Washington, famed hair and cosmetics mogul, share the gallery wall with Margaret Creswell Hiawatha, the first female African-American police officer in Atlantic City or the country, and the first female African-American casino vice president, Redinia Gilliam Mosey. Featured educators include Mrs. Barbara Hudgens, Drs. Jean Griffin, Richland Goddard, Beverly Vaughn, Amaza Lockett, Vera King Farris, Juanita High, Barbara Gaba, and Dorothy Dorrington, along with Mary McLeod Bethune, Anna Land Butler, and Jessie Redmond Fawcett. Louise Forrest Johnson, Patty Harris, Joanna Lassane, Rosalind Cash, and Carol Bayard represent the arts. Ida B. Wells and Margaret Caution were printers with journalism in common. Leoma Bird operated a training camp for professional boxers. Gertrude Newsom ran an Atlantic City guest house for Negroes during segregation, and Sister Jean Webster was beloved by all for her selfless mission to feed the homeless. 19th century African American women were a force for change. They fought to end slavery, get the right to vote, and protested the terror of racism when the laws in our country provided little protection. Harriet Tubman acted to bring hundreds of enslaved people to freedom. Sojourner Truth challenged the man who sold her son illegally to a southern plantation owner and won in court. Amy Hester Reckless ran from slavery and abuse in Salem, New Jersey, to join the fight against slavery in Philadelphia. Joanna Lee ignored the strictures that prevented women from preaching by arguing that the Savior died for women too. Mary McLeod Bethune believed education would remove the barriers between the races when the idea of educating blacks received little or no support from the government. Ida B. Wells researched lynchings in America. Rather than a solution for crime, she found it was a strategy to control black progress through terror. Though inequities would persist, these women are among many who set the stage for further progress in the 20th century. Mrs. Parks refused when an Alabama bus driver told her to sit in the colored section. Maggie Creswell dared to become the first female police officer in the country. Some of the greatest writers of the Harlem Renaissance were mentored by Jessie Fawcett Redmond. Margaret Caution served on the governor's Civil Rights Task Force. Anna Land Butler was a poet in the era of the Harlem Renaissance. Joanna Lassane founded the Atlantic City Children's Theater. Patty Harris was a Club Harlem dancer and Broadway actor. Louise Forrest Johnson choreographed the first Atlantic City cotillion. Rosalind Cash's memories of segregation informed her acting career. Carol Bayard's art focused on the Black experience. Dr. Dorrington developed teaching materials for students with developmental disabilities. From humble beginnings to her tenure as president of Stockton College, Dr. Farris made academic excellence the theme of her life. As president of Atlantic Cape Community College, Dr. Gaba is both role model and mentor. For her record of educational and social service, Dr. High was named an Outstanding American of the Bicentennial Era. The work ethic learned at her family's legendary Atlantic City restaurant enabled Dr. Griffin to achieve academic distinction. Barbara Hudgens was a teacher, public servant, and arts advocate. Amasa Lockett's love of music defined her life. Dr. Vaughn's career in music was informed by her love of the Negro spiritual. Dr. Goddard sheds light on African American and local history. Sister Jean Webster was admired for her selfless humanitarianism. At 107 years of age, Mrs. Newsom is the oldest living resident of Atlantic City's North Side. Leoma Bird's Pleasantville training camp catered to champions. Radinia Gilliam Moset's devotion to her city led to significant social change. Mrs. Rita Mack's philanthropy is driven by her desire to give back to her community. And Madam Sara Spencer Washington's Atlantic City businesses sparked her international success and fame. The African American Heritage Museum of Southern New Jersey proudly salutes the African American women of our region with this exhibit.